Hey, 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 hey. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy Tuesday. We made it past Monday. Uh-oh. I hear German.
My dogs will not shut up.
I have that same issue.
Mine bark at useless shit. It's not even anything worthwhile. It's just like they want to be heard.
Yeah, I need to send you a picture that I just took too. You should have it now. Let's see. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Looks like 7 or 8 of them. Nope. Dust off. I take it they see the image.
It's possible.
Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get a link over to somebody to come on here with us. All right, he's got it. So we'll wait on him to jump in, but
All right.
we'll go ahead and mess around. So I hope everybody had a good weekend. I know we got a lot of rain here, much needed rain. It's pretty dry out, but the grass is starting to grow, so that creates work. But that also means it's time to plant. So if you don't have seeds, you need to get some.
Yes,
The best,
sir. I
that's the
agree.
best thing to store. That's the best way to store food product is seeds. They last forever. You can plant them whenever you need them.
Yep.
Just keep in mind that when you do plant them, a lot of them take 60 days, 70 days, and 80 days. So if you need some by the weekend, it's too late.
Isn't that the truth? And get heirloom seeds if you can.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with a good tomato.
No. Okra, corn. I can go. The list goes on and on.
Jalapenos.
Gas and jalapenos. Okay.
I don't know if the link's working. Let me see. What the heck? Well, he's got it. I'm just waiting on him to. We'll give him a minute. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, we're going to talk about several things tonight, everybody. We're going to talk about Trump, of course, being arrested and then being arrested or processed. We're going to call it processed, right? We'll go over to Transurrection again, and then we're going to talk a little bit about China, which happens to be, I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but China is a superpower that we're going to have to deal with pretty soon, I believe.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I think you're right. I think China, they get a little bit too big for the britches, and we're not really giving them a reason not to. I mean, at least not in my opinion.
well, we talked about it a little bit. We've got a lot of countries that are denouncing the U.S. dollar. All right. Now, what does that mean? Basically, during trading with these countries, they're not going to recognize the equivalency of a dollar or the value being higher than some other countries. So let's I don't know what's the last one you said it was Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Saudi Arabia. So let's look up what the transfer rate is for Saudi Arabia. Kind of give you a little rundown.
That was the one I was reading about where them and OPEC were something about reducing their production, and they directly referenced their how the relationship with us, with them in the United States, had deteriorated under the Biden administration. So, just want to say, I want all of you to, give him a big FU for helping to push us around off the cliff. So, if we're talking about the same article.
Well, I just got the link. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm just trying to look at this U.S. dollar. So basically, in a nutshell, everybody, what that does is, our exchange rate, normally the U.S. is a higher exchange rate than any other country, except for like Romania and stuff like that. Romania, it's actually, theirs is higher. Like 600 US dollars is like 650 euros over there or something like that. So theirs goes up. But if this happens, okay, the current or past value of the dollar has decreased anyway. We all know that. Now, my opinion, this is all just a big ploy in order to gain one world currency. That's my thinking on it. So in order to have a one world currency, what do you have to do? First thing you have to do is level the playing field.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, if a dollar's worth 10 in Mexico, that'll no longer be the situation. If you go to Mexico with a dollar bill, it's going to be worth a dollar bill, basically. All right. So that's kind of where it's going. The big pusher of this is China. A lot of people don't realize that. That's the big.
And I heard somebody say Saudi Arabia was the last one. I'm pretty sure Japan was, that I seen yesterday.
Saudi Arabia announced it today.
Now,
See, I seen that China was in talks with Saudi Arabia like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They've been in talks, but I think Saudi Arabia agreed. I read read today, I thought, or maybe it was referring to the talks.
That might have been it. Because I think there was Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Russia. And that was like 2 weeks ago. And then I heard Brazil, and now I'm hearing Japan.
India as well.
India, yeah.
And I think Venezuela, Argentina. The South American countries, it's kind of but I think the reason the South American countries are probably signing on board is because, for those that aren't aware, China is trying to insert itself all over the globe, and they have a lot of invested interest in Central and South America.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me at all.
No, where I work, we talk about this stuff a lot. And one of the things they're talking about is one of the biggest things that the other countries are seeing coming from China is that they're actually backed by gold or something other than nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And I read the same thing. They're talking about backing it by something rather than just having a bunch of paper out there. Yep. And I personally think that's the way it should have always been. And if I'm not mistaken, the British pound is backed by gold.
That is correct.
Because I remember seeing before Queen Elizabeth passed, she was doing a tour of one of their, I don't know what you call it, but she was touring through where they've got all the gold to guarantee their currency. See,
well, here's the thing. That's where the U.S. is going to fall on its face, because we have more debt than we have gold above or below surface. So that's when you're going to see the value of a dollar worth about 15 cents in a ratio, if that kind of clears it up for everybody. So it's going to be it's going to be a hell of an adjustment. It's coming. Everybody, it's coming. I mean, we talk about it and say, hey, it may happen. It may happen. No, it's going to happen. They're going to equalize currency across the world. It's going to happen.
Well, I think this is going to be what kicks off the whole digital currency. I was talking to a good friend of mine. His wife actually works for one of the major banks. And she's already said, yeah, we're going digital. It's going to happen. The day of the paper dollar is going to be out the window. You won't have hard currency anymore. And that's straight from the bank. And she's been working in the banking field for 20 plus years. And what people need to understand is that, and I've read this, I don't know if any of you have, but if this happens, if they go to a digital currency and they do what they're saying, I don't know how many of you are familiar with, when you get a gift card for Christmas or whatever, and if you don't use it so much in the first year, it starts losing value.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You may have already brought this up, Vanguard. If you have, cut me off. But the money, like say you got $20,000 in your banking account, whether it's savings or checking or whatever, it's going to have negative interest. So if you don't use it by X date, it starts getting fees, and it'll have an expiration date. And if you haven't used that money by then, it's gone.
Right, and there's ways around that, but it'll be a lot of work, and I don't know if it'll be made illegal, but I mean, currently you can transfer funds from one account to the other with no illegal repercussions. But if there's a time limit on it, and let's say I've got $10,000 over in this one account, right? And then there's a, 12-month rolling period, all right? Where at that 12 months, if I hadn't used it, and there's a negative interest or fees, basically, that doesn't balance out the spectrum for positive interest, then you lose money, of course, right? Mm-hmm. But if you transfer it from one account to the other and just, bounce it around like that, and right now that's not illegal, but I could see it being made into an illegal situation, because here's the issue. Most people, you got savings accounts, stuff like that. They do it for the interest purpose. You take that away, and I mean, there's going to be no more storing applicable funds at home.
Right.
So I don't know if everybody knows that. I mean, you won't be able to go into your safe and grab a couple $100 bills out of it because they'll be worthless.
Yep.
So there'll be a period of exchange, right? So if you got, $1,000 at home, hard cash money, and it's at a deadline of exchange, and you don't go exchange it, then guess what? You've just got a wad of fire starter. That's basically all you got.
Toilet paper.
So, I mean,
well, that's, this all feeds right into the whole China thing, I guess, I think the thing that I've always asked myself is, yeah, we've got all this debt and whatnot, but let's take, for instance, let's say, God forbid, that we get in some kind of conflict with China. I mean, okay, so if we go to war with them, why not seize all their shit here?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say they would, but.
Well, my argument is that if you're at war, then regular commerce and trade and investment and all that bullshit, that's out the window because you just pissed on my front porch.
Yeah.
So
now, I just read an interesting article. I can't remember what the timeline on it was, but it was like in the next 5 or 6 years that China's going to because we're ramping stuff down and they're ramping stuff up so fast. China's looking to have 150 more naval ships than the U.S. within the next 5-6 years.
Yep.
And that's both because we're decreasing and they're increasing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, I mean, I seen an article from, y'all may know his name. He's the ex military defense. What was his name? What was his name? I can't even remember. But he put a statement out and was showing the current status of the United States, all the way up until I believe it was 2020, the military practiced being able to take on 2 superpowers at once. That was the standard. Okay, that was the military standard for the United States, was to be able to efficiently fend off 2 superpowers. Currently, we're not at that state. We have the ability to fend off 1.
Some days I don't know if we could do that. They're pushing so hard on where the military is trying to be woke and all that other shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're too worried about people being the wrong political party or people not believing in the whole transgender shit than they are actually training for war.
Right, and I don't know if y'all realize that, and this is all hard facts. This is military data, that the military's obesity rate has went up 35% in the last 2 years. Now, there's nothing wrong with people being overweight, but there is a problem with it when you can't perform your PT and protect and do the job that you're supposed to do. If your job requires you to be physically fit, then you need to be physically fit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I push PT all the time. You need to have your physical training, because a strong person defends better. A strong person is better in action. The last thing you want to do is go out and defend your house, and then, 2 minutes in, and 2 minutes is a long time in a defense situation. Okay. 2 minutes later, you're out there laying on the ground needing an oxygen tank. You're not serving anybody any purpose.
Mm-mm.
So a little bit of PT goes a long way.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people build their plate carriers. I've seen people that's got plate carriers that weigh 70 pounds. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
It looks good hanging in the corner. But when you strap that bastard on, what are you going to do?
Walk if you're lucky.
Yeah, you can't carry around your natural weight of 200 pounds. How are you going to carry around 270? It's not going to happen.
Uh-uh.
So, I don't know. But
it's facts.
But
well,
the thing is you don't see any fat people in China's military.
Now, I don't know a whole lot about China's actual resources and stuff, but from what I understand, China don't have much in the way of natural resources, and that's why that they were always considered a poor country until they started manufacturing all their cheap shit.
Yeah. Another thing, like my wife was asking me the other day, she said, well, what can we do with the economy to circumvent the whole dollar thing? And this feeds right into that, Ozzy. I said, well, you stop buying all your cheap shit from all these countries. And then everything they want to import, you tariff the fuck out of it.
Yep.
Like if it's a country that we buy electronics from or cars or whatever, and they're deciding they want to stop using the dollar for trade, tariff them. Tariff the shit out of them. Make it where it's not profitable for them to continue down that path. If they're not making the money, this whole scheme will implode.
And from what I understand of it, that the U.S. alone could probably tank China's economy just by refusing their exports.
Yep.
Because the U.S. buys so much of their crap.
That's what I'm saying. You're absolutely correct. Because we become such a consumer-based society that just buys junk. I don't know how many people ever bought something off fucking Wish, but you're getting what you're paying for.
I've never bought off that.
Impact got most of their tactical gear there, I believe. But that being said, there's a reason why the shit's cheap. It's not. They ain't got no damn quality control.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show y'all something. What Highlander said right here. Yeah, they buy our junk cars. They buy almost all of our graded and low grade scrap metal. And let me tell you what they do with it. So rebar is not made out of hardened steel. Okay, rebar is actually trash. It's smelt down metal. So what they do is they ship out containers. I'm talking max packed containers, slam full of scrap metal, right? And it goes over to China. They melt it down, rebar it up, and sell it right back to us at 100 times profit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's our metal, it's our steel.
Yep. And it's shitty quality what they sell us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, number like I don't know if you know what number 11 rebar is, but that's it's measured in eighths. Okay, if you measure out rebar, so that would be over an inch. Number 11 would be over an inch. If you've got a 20-foot stick of number 11 rebar and it's bending, it's drooping on both ends, that is shitty steel. That is not hardened steel.
Yes, sir.
You can pick up a piece of galvanized steel that's 20 foot long, conduit or whatever the case may be, and it doesn't flex. It's actually stronger than that rebar.
Yeah.
But the rebar is made that way because of pliability is the reason.
Right.
So I don't know, man. It's quick money, and if you think about it, all that scrap metal that they're shipping overseas, if they kept it here and refined it themselves, think of the money that would have been saved.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, we can also blame the federal government, really the Democrats more than Republicans, because they're always looking to find a way to tax the rich and make everything fair and balanced. What those fucktards don't tell the public is that it's the rich or the corporations that keep trying to rape, that they're the ones who provide jobs. And when you make it where they can't make a profit here because of regulation, over-regulation, overreach, just making it so negative to try and operate a business here, they move the shit overseas because they can't afford to do the production here. And so, you know, it's a double-edged sword. Our own fucking governments help put us in the position we're in.
Right. And I want to go back to something else too. So you may remember this, T, when I brought this up. You know, when they were raising the minimum wages, right? They're jacking up these minimum wages.
Yep.
McDonald's, you know, $15, $18 an hour to make a double quarter pounder. Well, guess what? McDonald's is about to have mass layoffs.
Yeah.
Why is that?
They want $15, $18 an hour, and they still can't get a single order, right?
Right. No.
We go. My kids love that place. Of all the fast food places, that is the one that I hate the most.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my kids always want to go. My oldest, he's 9. He will not eat sliced cheese. I don't know what it is, but he won't eat sliced cheese. And so every time we tell him a hamburger with no cheese, and every time they put cheese on that damn thing, and then we got to sit there and try to scrape it off. Otherwise, he won't touch it.
Yeah.
And so then he finally got sick of it. He said, well, I'm just going to order chicken nuggets. So he ordered chicken nuggets and fries. We got home. He took his food out. They forgot to put the chicken nuggets in there for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some quality employees at $15 an hour right there.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, you know, they put it on the news and they're like, well, this is corporate restructuring layoffs. Okay.
No, it's not.
When you get rid of corporate, everything trickles down, right? So when you start getting rid of these corporate positions, you're going to start just running right on down the line. You're not going to have 5 McDonald's shift managers. Okay. You're not going to have 30 people cooking fries and chicken nuggets the chicken nuggets are pretty much pre-cooked, by the way. Don't tell your son I said that, Ozzy. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't prefer McDonald's because I know where McDonald's meat comes from. And I don't want to share that with y'all because it's worse than a hot dog. Just saying. And I love hot dogs.
Well, I know where their McRibs come from. But I got something else for you as far as like the China and stuff like that. Well,
Okay.
Another thing that the U.S. could do that would cripple China, and a lot of people don't realize it, and the only reason I know is because I work in the swine industry, is right now, at least 3-4 years, as of 3-4 years ago, and I haven't heard any different, China cannot produce their own pork.
No, you're
So
right.
what? What there is
we
there's
have-
this disease called African swine fever, and it's killing all of their pigs.
Yeah, and you remember when COVID hit, right? Where they pushed all of them off in that pit, the ones that they did have.
Yeah.
The thousands of pigs that they pushed off in a pit and covered them up because they said that it was being transmitted by a bat. I don't know why you kill off all your hogs, but anyway.
No, they got that African swine fever like 6-7 years ago, and they haven't been able to get rid of it. I mean, there's things placed in the U.S. that if a hog barn gets African swine fever that I know of, it hasn't been in the U.S. yet. Basically, the federal government's going to come in, step in. They're not going to let anybody leave that farm, and they're going to kill all the pigs. And then they're supposed to test every farm within like 10 or 15 miles, and any trace of it's supposed to be destroyed.
Okay.
Like I said, the last I heard about it was 3-4 years ago, but that I know of, China still can't produce their own pork.
Interesting.
I can believe that because the people are stacked in that country.
Pork is supposed to be their number. Pork is supposed to be their number one protein, and they can't produce them themselves. That they're getting most of it from the U.S.
See, there's your end right there. They won't fuck around. I mean, I don't understand. I'm not a politician. I'm not a economist or whatever. But it seems to me that if somebody would just grow some fucking balls, we can straighten this bullshit out overnight. I mean, there's a way to just shut their dumb ass down. Because they're going to forget all about wanting to fucking fight anybody when they can't fucking feed people. I know it's cruel, but if they're going to sit here and poke the bear, fucking bite them.
Now, one thing I did tell somebody else that if we mess with their exports or start refusing to send them pork, that would cause a war. Either one. Because without them sending us their cheap shit and without us sending them pork, they can't survive.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, we can get the rest of our cheap shit from Mexico. The cartels will hook us up. I mean, at least keep the shit on the same continent.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about, whichever cartel invading or taking over, bombing the shit out of us, setting off news. Now, I'm not saying they're good people or, we need to rush out and set up some business plans with them. But I'm saying, a cartel is a much smaller entity to have to deal with than a quote unquote superpower. It's got a chip on their shoulder. So that's just my 2 cents, But China's they've been given this ability because they're considered a developing country. They're given all these breaks. Stop fucking giving them the breaks.
Yeah.
They won't be a superpower. Fucking treat them as one. Let them have to deal with all that shit. Start hitting them with, like I said, tariff the fuck out of them. They treat them like fucking North Korea. Cut that faucet off. But see that our current administration is not going to do that because the bed shitter in chief. I mean, he's got 3 or 4 summer homes paid for by the fuckers. So,
yeah.
Well, that's the thing is so many of our politicians are in bed with these other countries,
i.e., Ukraine.
So, and so far what it looks like to me is China's pulling in all of these power players, right, in support of their goal.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when you've got military export of countries that's wealthy in soil, right? Wealthy in oil and so forth and so on. And you're going out saying, okay, you back us on this, and then we're going to plant a big ass base over in your country. We'll put in military stanchions, get set up. Then all of a sudden you've got the entire world against one nation, and that's what's coming.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got 2 of the major power players that hate our guts. Okay, you got Russia and China. and they're in bed with each other. There's no doubt of that. They're
Oh
100%.
yeah.
Now here's the thing: can we beat them? Honestly, honest question.
I think we could. I think it would take a little bit to get started.
I don't know.
You'd have to,
Losses.
because I honestly think what would happen is all these leftists would get their first taste of war, and they're going to have to figure out that they're going to either have to man up or cry in a corner. And I don't. And in that situation, that crying in a corner is just going to get them killed.
Well, you got to remember too, most of the people nowadays don't remember a real conflict. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Iraq and Afghanistan weren't real, but I'm saying something on the scale of Vietnam or up. And, you know, all these fucktards in Washington, they're all well and good about saying we need to do this or do that. And, you know, when it starts hitting home, people start having, you know, when the bullet starts hitting the meat, yeah, people have a different approach about how much they enjoy this shit. And politicians have a hard time spinning it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You watch all these other news networks from other countries and all. We're just a complete laughing stock of the world.
Oh yeah. Hats off to Australia because they hold us to the fire and tell it like it is. I guess because they can't in their own country. But you know, that's one news. You can watch the BBC out of Australia every day, and they're going to tell you exactly what's wrong here and what's going on and why it's wrong. And they're spot on. They see everything we see.
Well, I'm trying to pull up. Maybe y'all heard about it, but there was a country that just legalized for all citizens to have weapons because their crime rate has
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I think that was Ecuador. I seen that. Didn't get to watch that whole video, but I seen that.
It was Ecuador. So they passed a law for all their citizens to have weapons.
Damn.
Which used to not be allowed. As a citizen, you couldn't have any firearms. But
did you see what Tennessee is trying to pass?
Yes.
I think I shared that in Signal. But Tennessee is trying to pass a bill that'll put a security guard in every school.
I think that's how it should be.
Make it a hard target.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I do believe that part of that deal is that they're looking at some red flag laws, but I think the governor's trying to get it passed, and that's what he's offering red flag laws in order to get that passed.
Fuck. I really hate red flag laws.
Well,
I do too.
Did you see where PRI is trying to completely ban body armor?
Yep, I shared that this morning. I seen it.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, the hits just keep on coming. Pritzker's a dumb fuck. Is he still in office?
I don't know.
I mean, he tried the whole AR-15 ban, and the sheriff said, fuck you. And now they're going after body armor, and they're saying, well, if you've got body armor, you can register it and keep it. Yeah, and when you register the shit, they basically got a list of who's got it. And here's the thing, you can't fucking replace it when it wears out. I mean, I'm sorry, but even if you got steel plates, they take so many licks, guess what? You know, it's time to replace them. And you can't. And Kevlar's got a shelf life, if I'm not mistaken. So,
even the steel, I think the steel plates, they say 20 years.
Yep.
I think that the ceramic plates, I think it's 5.
That sounds about right. Sounds about right.
So, speaking of the Tennessee thing, I don't know if y'all seen where I made that comment, but so that thing was actually under counseling from the pastor. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was one
Yeah,
of
I've
his,
seen that. I think it was the pastor's daughter, one of the ones that were killed.
Yes.
exactly. I mean, I hope it is in a special plane of hell right now. I really do. Because that shit should not be forgotten. It should be talked about every fucking day. And these deviants that want to make it into some kind of martyr, fuck that. Don't give them the traction.
Well, I was just going to say that the act of what happened should be forgotten, but that person's name needs to be forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know her name or its name. I just call it thing.
Yeah. I try to be as derogatory as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Because that's what it deserves. You know, and then all these shitbag politicians are trying to cash in on it and utilize it as a way to get a feather in their cap and push some fucking agenda. All them sumbitches need to rot in hell too. Every one of them.
Not just politicians. They had the CMT awards that were pushing that shit.
Oh yeah, I saw that. They're apparently they drank the woke aid too.
I don't watch any. I don't watch any awards.
I don't
I
know.
don't either. Because too many people have made it their political platform to run their fucking mouth when they're idiots. You know, I'm sorry. It's fine if you're popular or you're famous or you're a celebrity or whatever and you've got an opinion, but don't get out there shooting off your fucking mouth without being educated. Because that just infuriates me. And, you know, if I was take for instance, let's talk about Copernic, another fucking moron. Or Kaepernick, however the fuck you pronounce it, he's an idiot. But he would get up there and use his time on the field as a political platform to kneel and do all that bullshit. If I'm paying him, he's doing that on my fucking dime. If you're going to do a political protest or whatever the fuck it is you're doing, you do it on your own fucking time. You're under contract to have your ass out there on the field and do what I tell you to do. And you know, I don't like when I see these businesses out here getting involved in politics. It's not their fucking job. Entertain. That's what you're there for.
Yeah, the way I look at it is I've never boycotted an actor because of their political beliefs, but the way I look at it, they're there for my entertainment. And I can get the same entertainment from somebody with big shoes and a red nose.
Yep. That's it.
I'm not going to sit and be bored because I don't like somebody, but I'm not going to put anything into what they say either.
No. I mean, and it's getting so bad now that so many different things, so many different celebrities you may follow are fucking retards as far as the stuff they say, what they support. I mean, all your manufacturers. Look at Coca-Cola. Look at who is it makes Cheez-Its. Is that Sunshine? And then you got Budweiser making the tranny fluid.
I've been putting that everywhere.
That shit's hilarious, dude. That is.
I put it on Bud Light's Facebook page. I said Bud Light will for henceforth be known as tranny fluid.
Interesting fact. You guys want to know an interesting fact?
I love facts.
They did the rainbow cans in 2019 also.
Did they really?
They did. This is just a return.
Well, they can return all they want. I'm not going to drink the shit. So
I didn't drink it before they did that. So
yeah, I barely drank Bud Light since high school.
I don't drink any Anheuser-Busch products, period. So
usually what I buy is Grain Belt Premium.
you know, I drink Miller Lite.
yeah,
You know, or maybe a Coors Light, but
I'll drink a Coors Banquet every now and then. You know, it's good stuff.
or Blue Moon. I like Blue Moon.
Anyway, welcome to the show, Moose.
Thank
welcome
you.
aboard, brother.
Thank you. So, what have I missed?
We've kind of been all over the place. I mean, jump in.
Jump in. Okay.
Well, we've been talking about Trump and him being purple walked. We've been talking about China and how, there's a way to take care of this without ever finding a shot. And we've been talking about the Transurrection, the whole thing about making it a martyr. And
It?
Yeah.
Who's it?
that,
The Nashville shooter.
yeah, national shooter. It.
Why are they trying to make it a martyr?
To push the trans agenda and, think of it this way. They've been trying to make everybody accept the it movement.
It's not just to push the trans agenda, though. There's some that are just saying that they just simply want to go after Christians.
Sure, and you're right. I totally agree. But I think what it is they're trying to push, they're using this to get free time to push it and get it more accepted. And so they're trying to basically ignore the fact that we've had 4 mass shootings that each one of them identified as a ABC, QRG, whatever the fuck they are. And, none of that's being mentioned by the news. But these deviants are the ones doing it. So you're wanting us to accept you deviants as the norm and embrace your shit. No, I'm not going to.
I think honestly that they should pass a fucking law, because obviously the news media isn't going to do it. But they should pass a law that says you cannot put a picture of the shooter up. Period. You can release the shooter's name and one picture. That's it. And then after that, never talk about the shooter again. Refer to it as a piece of shit and a coward, a chicken shit, everything under the sun. And then the only people they can are allowed to talk about are the victims.
Yeah, I agree. Don't give them their 15 minutes of fame.
100.
Tell you what, just call them all Freak Show, because Freak Show is gender inclusive. It can be for all of them.
I just call it, because I was actually in Shreveport one time, and this woman came up, and anyway, she asked me where the bathroom was. I said, well, ma'am, the bathroom is right over. And oh my God, because I didn't call her by the correct pronoun. She went off on me. And a buddy of mine was kind of pushing me up the other way. He's like, don't you dare do it, and I was lighting into. I was like, what pronoun you want me to use? Bitch, and I mean, I went off. And my buddy's like, dude, you're going to get us killed. Get out of here, So. Yeah.
I seen one a while back. Now, where I live, we don't have much of that. But the bigger town by us is a college town, so we do get some of it. But I don't know, it was probably 12 years ago, I seen one in the mall that, wearing a fucking mini skirt, not unshaved legs, hadn't shaved in 4 or 5 days. And it's like, what the fuck?
Oh.
Well, I told that person that day, I said, ma'am, I didn't mean to offend you. That was just an added bonus. And went into lighting into her again. And like I said, my buddy was literally pushing me to the doors. It was just me and him. And she had a pretty good little group with her. And I was like, what the hell are they going to do? Hit us with their fucking high heels? I mean, come on.
Pom-pom bonanza.
My old man, he used to listen to a lot of comedy. Now, obviously, it was a little older comedy, but one of them, he was making fun of the gays and stuff, and he says, and if you don't like what I have to say about it, if you can get 10 or 12 of you together, then do it. And then he says, but then how'd they get them apart again?
Nice. Well, I mean, if they're going to get out there in the forefront and run their mouth and try to force this shit on us, we have a right to call it out however we can. I think it's a good opportunity. I
have no problem if you're gay or whatever, I have no problem what you do behind, your closed doors. I have no problem at all with it. That is your business. Hey, that's what makes you happy. Great. But the minute you start coming into my house and forcing that shit on me, we got a problem.
Yep. When my wife and I were first dating, we got talking about that. I said, my opinion on it is that I don't care what people do in their own home. I don't want to have to see it out in public. And I'll never explain to my kids that that's normal.
Nope.
Pretty much. I mean, like I said, I have no problem what you do in your house and all that. I mean, if you want to dress up in leather chaps and, run naked backwards through a cornfield, hey, that's what blows your skirt up. Go for it.
Well, that sounds like a Saturday night for tea.
I'll listen to you.
Just don't, don't throw it in my face. Don't, and all that. That's where I draw the line. The minute you start forcing your views and everything on me, we've got a problem.
Yep.
But I mean, like I said, I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're straight. I don't care. That's your business, not mine. Just don't force it on me. And, and then expect me to like it. I mean, I may not agree with your political views. I may agree with them. I may, whatever. Just don't force them on me.
Exactly.
And for some reason, that's a tough pill for people to swallow. They always have to force their shit on you. And then if you don't like it, you're the racist bigot. You're the uneducated redneck. And I'm like, look, I am an uneducated redneck. But once again, I've got rights too, and my rights don't end where your feelings begin.
Exactly. I think that's where all of us have the issue. It's not that we care which side of the fence they climb around on, whatever the hell they do. It's when they try to make it part of our daily life. And that's why we're getting frustrated, because you don't need to be bringing that shit to the schools or the libraries or anything else. What you do in your own fucking backyard or your house, that's your fucking business. Knock yourself the fuck out. But when you start trying to damn push that shit on children and families and shit, and you got teachers trying to push it, no, I have zero tolerance.
I mean, I think it's wrong that, drag queen story hour, for example, at a school. I just got issues with that. I mean, me and a friend of mine were talking about it one time, and he was kind of on the fence about it. For example, he said if, some girl dresses up like Cinderella and goes and reads the book Cinderella to him, he said, what's the difference between if it's a man or a woman doing it? And, I kind of sat there for a second, had to think about that, because I was like, it is supposed to be, I said, but I don't want that 5-year-old coming out of there thinking that's normal for a man to dress up like a woman. That's
exactly,
my issue with it lies. But I just think that whole drag queen story hour crap. First off, I think those people are fucking quacks. I probably need to shut up before I get us kicked off of ScrewTube.
It wouldn't be the first time.
We're in the clear. We're back down to a warning.
All right. Well, I'm gonna shut up so we stay in a warning.
No, get a warning and 3 strikes, man. No big deal.
Because I can get, trust me, all 3 strikes right now. And
well, here's the thing, Moose. I'm with you 1,000%. Okay, the impression that they're putting on small children that have an undeveloped mental capability is where I have the issue. Okay, I try not to judge other people by their sins, because God above is going to judge me for my sins, not yours. Okay, When I go through the pearly gates, he's not going to say, "Hey, what did old Jake from Elber Street do?" I'm going to be judged on my sins, not anybody else's, right? But I don't want any influence on the children that we have. Like, my children are grown, thank God, and they've always been strong-minded and not really pressured, right? Both of my kids don't have a lot of friends just because they don't support their socialist values, right? So I instilled that on them. So that's a proven fact that what we push down to our children, they soak that up. So when a child, like you said, goes to story reading time and old fucking Cleophas is up there with a skirt on, with his sack hanging out, and his hamburger meat hanging out the top of his fucking halter top, that's a problem.
Paint that picture.
That's normalizing it. You know what I'm saying? These kids come out of here thinking that it's okay for a grown ass man to wear a fucking tutu.
Yeah, see that's where I have issues with it, and it's just kind of one of those slippery slopes that I'm like, look, you start doing this, and then all of a sudden, this is going to be the chain reaction, and you point that out to the libertards out there that don't quite. They think 2 + 2 is 5 or 8 or whatever it is. It's not 4 because it's simple math, and for some reason, common sense and simple math and shit like that left them a long time ago. Anyway, they don't seem to understand that. They don't understand that a kid, sees things and they may not understand it, and they think, oh, well, this is normal. This is this. This is that. They don't see things like an adult sees things. And, they don't understand that, and then it seems the ones that do understand it are the ones trying to ram it down your throat. So, 20 years from now, that shit is going to be normal. I mean, I've got a 14-year-old son, and I'm like, son, this is not normal. And he goes, oh, I know it's not. I mean, he canceled his own kid's little YouTube deal because he got tired of seeing the LGBTQ alphabet rainbow crap coming across his kid's YouTube. So, I mean, he did that on his own. He said, right. I don't want to see that.
Good for him.
He did that when he was like 11 or 12. He's like, that's not normal, Dad. I'm like, no, it's not, son.
Patriot Nation, you make a good point about everything has been normalized.
Yeah, and I'm with him, and we're not talking about recent stuff either. I mean,
no.
What'd he say?
Think about the things that have been normalized in history.
Yeah. I mean, go back 20 years and think about it.
Well, I'm going thinking back like 100.
Well, yeah.
Or 100. Let's go back 150 years ago.
Oh, snap.
To now.
Oh, hot damn. It's going to get live now.
Who's on with us?
The one and only Palmetto.
What's happening?
Oh, I better watch my language now.
Yeah.
She's about to teach you.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me get my pen and paper
We were
out.
just talking about this today.
Hey, T, if you don't mind, I got my pen and paper out, but you gotta have to write it down for me because I don't write, and I never was that educated. So, I just got my pen and paper out.
Palmetto, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Are you done, Moose?
For now, yes.
Can I jump in? Look, I'm not going to take up all y'all's time, but if y'all are sitting here being compliant and as long as they ain't bothering me, fuck that shit. It is unacceptable. And the more people stay quiet, the more, what's the word I'm looking for? The more empowered these damn wingnuts become. I, I, I'm not complying. I am not accepting. I am not tolerating that bullshit. Okay, this ain't fucking Candyland. All these pink hair fucking wanna be. I mean, it's a damn shit show.
Yes, it
It's a
is.
damn shit. And I'm tired of people saying, "Okay, well, they ain't bother me." They fucking bother me when I look at them. It's
I'm
unacceptable.
there. We're not being compliant.
No, not compliant, but it's like if it's not accepting, if it's not bothering me, oh, they can just go cut their penis off and put their, blush on. And I mean, no, it is not right. It is not normal.
I'm not. I call them deviants from the get go. But the only
These are
statement I'm making, or I'm trying to make, is that if they keep that shit behind closed doors in their own house, that's their business. Because I don't want nobody coming in my house dictating to me what's right and wrong. It's not their fucking place. But beyond that, I have zero tolerance for them. I'm there with you. And I think
I'm right
everybody
there
here's
with
the
you.
same.
I
All
have
we're saying
negative.
is keep your shit in your own house. Don't expect everybody else to make it part of their lifestyle because we don't fucking want it.
Well, you know what? People are. It flows out into the street, and everybody turns a cheek. They look away, look away, look away. No, I'm gonna look you straight in the eyes and say, "You're a fucking idiot." Okay,
Good for you.
that's
More
and
people need to.
these damn people. I don't even know if I'm calling people. They are messing. They are not fucking with the right people, or actually they are, because why aren't they trying that shit with me? They'll
Well,
get a roundhouse to the nuts, vagina, whatever they got, because there's only two sexes. Okay? You can't have a damn no. No, I am not tolerating it. It is not acceptable. The end. Case closed.
okay.
It is
Bravo.
a
I'm there
it
with
is
you.
a sickness. This
It's deviancy.
transgender bullshit is a sickness. It's a mental illness.
It's deviancy.
I'm gonna
It
take you back about 30 years ago.
Moose, don't take
Uh,
me back 30 years.
it doesn't even. Well, no, this is something that it'll kind of make sense in a second. But back when I was in college, we'd run down to New Orleans for the weekend, that kind of thing. And we'd always have somebody with us that had never been down to New Orleans, never been down to Bourbon Street or anything. And everyone knows when you start seeing the rainbow flags off the balcony, that's where you turn your ass around and go back down the other end of the street, because you've entered the queer side of Bourbon Street. And they would always keep the freaks and shit on over there. And last time I was down at Bourbon Street, and this was, oh god, 4 or 5 years ago.
Bourbon Street.
Um, it there were it was like the rainbow flag side. You didn't have that side of the street anymore, and it's like a block past St. Peter's, I think, is where the gay side of Bourbon Street. Both sides of the street were gay and all that shit. But anyway, it was like all the freaks now were all over Bourbon Street, and you would go into a bar that was supposed to be kind of the straight bar, and no, it was a bunch of damn queers and shit in there, trans and all that. That's a change, and that happened. I'd say Katrina. After the storm, it started happening more. So
Moose,
because
give us the Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes is you know acceptable there, kind of thing, to now. Like what we were talking about going back, 100 years or whatever. That's something that's happened in the last 20 years. And it seems that people are just kind of accepting of this. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with everybody?
I was reading an article a week ago, and it was about, I think it was in Canada, a weightlifting competition. And one of the weightlifters, he walked in and said, "You know what? I'm going to register as a woman today."
Yeah.
And he did this just to mess with him because the bench press was beaten a year or two ago by a transgender that lifted with women. So this guy walked in and said, "Oh, I'm going to beat that guy. I'm going to beat that record just to show him that I can do it." He walked in and said, "I'm a woman today." Beat the record, and they said, "Okay, I'm not a woman anymore."
Yeah, that record was set like in the last 6 months, I think. Okay. And then that guy literally like walked in and was like, "You know what? I'm gonna do this just to do it and prove my point here that men have."
I think he basically admitted that it was to protest the trans movement into sports.
Yeah, he said, "I'm going to do this just to prove that men have no business, like in women's sports, and women have no business in men's sports." Now, if you want to fix the problem, call it co-ed, because you have co-ed softball teams, for example. If you want to fix it, do that shit. Have a totally separate little division where men and women can compete against each other. But men have no business competing in women's sports, and women have no business competing in men's sports.
Exactly.
Well, on another note, I want to know how many of the transurrectionists are in jail tonight.
None.
Anybody got a number on it for me?
What did I miss on this transurrectionist?
Well, I mean, they basically showed out at 2 different state capitals showing their ass. Went to DC, and showed out and acted a fool, chanting and walking around with their nose rings and their rubber sex toys, waving them in the air.
And the state
and
you had Democratic lawmakers joining in.
Yeah.
How many of those? Anybody got a number for me yet on arrest?
I'm going to bet 0.
That would be 19.
Really?
19.
Were any of them politicians, I wonder?
I don't know.
I think one of the states is looking at removing some of those politicians or to go through the procedure of it.
Yes, because they joined in.
Because they were basically encouraging.
Yes.
So if they were willing participants, they all lose their seats. Fuck them. I still say all you got to do is go in there with a dozen people, a couple MRAPs, some water cannons, and you can change all that shit real quick. And if you're media, a politician, whatever, if you're in that group and we roll through, you're getting curb stomped with the rest of them.
Well,
I don't think we need to use water cannons. I think we need to use the rubber bullets. But that's just my opinion.
Water cannons are fun because when you hit them, they skip.
Well, we got to use rubber bullets. We need to be inclusive and make it shaped like a dildo.
No inclusivity. No. I'll be identifying as a sniper that day.
Water cannons. I'm telling you, dude. There is nothing like watching one of these pink-haired hippies skipping down the pavement with 10,000 psi water hitting them.
Yeah, but you light their ass up with rubber bullets. It's funnier than hell watching them.
But when they're trying to get the dreadlocks out of their eyes, or get the makeup that's run down there, it looks like they've been crying. I mean, there's just so many advantages to hitting them with the water.
Well, if you want to see them crying, hit them with rubber bullets. Trust me, they'll be crying, and the makeup will start running down their face. You get the same result there, T.
Well,
and I think a beanbag in their made-believe gender areas would help too.
This is true.
Okay, use them both.
Yeah.
you know, I'm with Vanguard. Fuck it. Let's just give them the whole buffet.
Or we could hit them, replace the water with mace.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, but the point I'm making is there needs to be a strong response to stop this shit. That's why it's gotten out of control.
Right.
And
That's
when
right.
people step up in there and they start participating under the guise of we're supporting your efforts for inclusivity, we're going to support our efforts to include you in getting your fucking teeth kicked out.
I'm not inclusive. I'm just gonna go on record as saying that. So
Well, I'm just saying, if they're wanting to be part of the inclusive movement for their constituents and, you know, help generate all this conflict and shit, when you go
hey,
in there,
go ahead, T. No, I was just gonna say, hey,
Hey.
all you inclusive people that are watching, how'd BLM work out for you?
just saying,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
you know,
I
you
thought
need to start
BLM was.
boot the ass across the board.
Sorry for interrupting. T. I thought BLM was all about making money, though.
It
Not,
is.
Well, look,
not.
no. That was my point. My point is you had all these sympathizers apologizing for being white and giving donations to BLM, Black Power, etc., etc. How'd that end up?
I don't understand why they were
Exactly.
apologizing for being white. But
I ain't apologizing for shit.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize to you because of the way I was born. You know, that ain't gonna happen. You can go ahead and get that shit out your head now. Um, if you expect me to go, oh, I'm so sorry because I was born white. Well, sorry. That you're never gonna hear me apologize for that. You're never gonna hear me apologize for something I didn't do and something I have no control over.
Exactly.
I
Nobody should.
ain't apologizing to nobody that's not paying any bills at my house.
I don't apologize for shit that I do. Much less am I
Facts.
going to apologize for something that I didn't do.
That's a non-issue. I ain't apologizing.
Just saying.
I've had a lot of we'll agree to disagrees. Apologies are hard terms.
I'm probably more like T on that one then because I've had a lot of people that we literally just go, look, we'll just agree to disagree and drop the subject before hands start flying. So
Yep.
I will drop you like a hot potato. For sure. I have to if you are not like-minded, and I've come to realize that people like us can have a conversation and a debate and it not get ugly, but have that same conversation with somebody on an opposing side. You can't have a debate. You can't.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's that mindset, Palmetto. That's that fucking participation trophy. They come in thinking that they won already.
yeah,
That's
I
the
have lost
mindset.
friends. I have lost friends over my viewpoints. I'm going to give you one example and then I'm going to shut up. But I had a coworker, good friend of mine. We worked well together. The Monday after January 6th, or no, it was a couple days after January 6th, and I came in and I walked in and said morning, and she said, did you see what happened at the Capitol? And I said, yeah. And she said, are you not outraged? And I said, no. I said, that is our house. We have every right to go in it. I wish I could have went. She immediately berated me. I said, no, no, ma'am. I said, no. I said, you weren't upset when the Summer of Love was going on, but taxpayers went to the Capitol to express their disgust about a stolen election, and now it's a problem. We're not friends anymore. I'm not going to be friends with your dumb ass. Now, if you wanted to have a civil debate with me and voice your opinions and let me have mine, and then we agree to disagree, so be it. You're not going to berate me for believing in what I believe in and for saying that is our house. I have every right to walk up in that Capitol. I pay their fucking salary.
Not just that, you also pay the light bill, the
I
water
can drive
bill.
I can drive on the fucking left side of the road if I want to. I pay my damn taxes. What what the so
The
no,
local law
no,
enforcement may
I'm
disagree.
I'm not going to pretend to have a friendship with someone who can't accept my views but berates me for not aligning with theirs. Fuck you. Bye.
Yeah.
I had to point this out to, I guess you'd call him my stepson. But anyway, I had to point this out to him. I said, son, listen, if someone doesn't respect you and your views, they probably weren't your friend to begin with.
That is correct. And you know what? If my children are both over 18, but if one would have came to me when they were 10 and said they wanted to be a girl, I'd have said, I'd have beat shit out of him. No, you're not wearing no fucking dress. You're not wearing pink. You're not playing no fucking dolls.
Did you see her chasing her child through the house with expletives and swinging a belt? I can see this.
Bo, when my children were growing up, I was voted the mother most likely to teach their children how to swear. But no. You want to wear a dress? You want me to whip your ass? And I shouldn't have to explain to my over 18-year-old children when they ask me, you know what? I'm just going to say this. Neither one of my children are liberal. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah.
What does that say?
Says, what do you think about our press secretary causing an accident while under the influence? No DWI given.
She was sloppy drunk too, buddy.
Rules for thee.
I would love to see that video.
And the press corps was not allowed to ask her about it.
That's correct.
Huh.
State-run media. If that had been one of Trump's people in his cabinet, you'd be hearing about that shit 24/7 for the next 6 months.
They would have been removed from their post immediately.
What are you talking about? They would have probably been arrested on the side of the road, charged with a slew of felonies. Not to mention endangering the people in a neighboring state because you're driving drunk in this town, and anything else they could think of, maybe like being neighbors with T or something like that.
Well, I'm about to start going to these tranny fests and holding up the sign, "No justice, no peace," because it's a damn shit show. Just no, I can't even. It just makes my blood.
Make sure you got 2 rolls of dimes in your pocket, so when you pull out, start swinging.
I'm going knuckle to face.
Yeah, they're not going to swing at her. They're going to slap at her.
Put the dimes in your hand, and then trust me, they drop like a rock. Or gold quarters or something like that. You hit somebody like that, that's worse than hitting them with brass knuckles.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Palmetto will fight a grown ass man.
I know.
I will.
I will fight a damn grown man, and if they whip my ass, I got what I deserve. So yeah, no domestic violence.
If they whoop your ass, you're gonna get your licks in regardless.
I'm gonna get my licks in, and I'm taking DNA up on my fingernails. If I end up on the side of the road, y'all make sure they clip my nails and get the DNA.
We might need to do a training video, like how to use a roll of quarters and a fist, and
I'm telling y'all, now that my children are both over 18, ain't nothing between me and these fucktards but air and opportunity.
Look, my son's 14 years
That's a
old,
t-shirt.
and I tell him that all the
I-
time. I'm like, you feel
Yeah.
froggy, jump, but just know that it ain't gonna stop till either you're knocked out or dead.
Well, it's been a while since the last revolution.
Yeah, it has.
I'm gonna leave that right there.
I'm gonna throw something out since you said that, and just to kind
Oh,
of
Lord.
see what the house thinks. What do y'all think about a national divorce?
Where do I sign?
I think it'd been fantabulous.
Agree.
Vanguard?
You know me, I'm all in. I think it should have already happened like 30 years ago.
Yeah. Because if it was to happen, the blue shithole states would collapse.
But the blue shithole states are the ones that say they take care of the red shithole states.
They don't take care of a damn thing except all their damn deadbeat ass people they're giving checks to.
I'm trying to figure out how
And
y'all figure not y'all, but how they think that they're paying all of our bills and everything, because hell, they can't even hardly pay their own bills.
They can't
I've
pay
heard
their
it
own
more.
bills.
I've heard it more than once.
I mean, next will be they won't give reparations to the transurrectionists.
Oh, I've already told people I
Oh my God!
identify as
You
a.
just gave somebody an idea.
I'm sure that there's some fucktard out there that already had the idea. They're just waiting to get the first batch of payments out before they start a new batch.
Oh, I identify as a slave that was from the 1800s, in California right now, just trapped in another state. And, because of our oppressive government, so I can get my reparations checks.
They can come find me for their reparations.
I'm telling you, I've said it a million times before. The first time I see that deduction on my damn payroll, I am out.
Yep.
I better not
Yep.
ever see one on my paycheck, or I'm gonna be insurrecting at the Capitol by my damn self.
They're pushing it, and you're going to have states to do it. I guarantee you, hell or high water, California's going to do it, and then they'll expect
I'll be out there.
Well, I mean, California is all right. You got what, San Francisco right now? Isn't it San Francisco? Or is it Los Angeles that's trying to push reparations?
I thought it was Los Angeles, but I could be wrong.
It's one of them.
Oh,
Ozzy's saying San Francisco.
Is offering more money than the what? Anyway, but yeah, and I think what they're doing is they're trying it at a local, smaller scale, like a town, like San Francisco or Los Angeles, and then they're going to go, okay, well, we pulled it off there, let's do it to a state, and then a state's going to do it, and then they're going to go, okay, well, let's try it nationwide. But what they're not counting on is people like me and T that are going to be going, hey, we're black, we were slaves and all that.
yeah.
I ain't even gonna say that. I'm not trying to be anything other than I am, and what I am right now is fed up with this bullshit.
I think we all are. But here's the thing:
how long are we gonna talk about it before somebody stands up? That's why I said these fucktards, these idiots, they're apparently not crossing paths with the right people.
Well, here's the thing: the right people, Palmetto, may be biding their time for the perfect opportunity. Because think about this: the ones that have the gumption to take a stand are probably under the full realization that the entire judicial system is against them for the most part. So anything they do, they're going to take the hit for it. So they figure if they're going to get involved in something like this, or they're going to make a stand, they're going to make sure that it's kind of like the whole shot that was heard around the world, if you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
they're biding their time, because right now with the current DOJ, if there was to be any kind of clash between these pink-haired fucktards and patriots, the patriots going to go down hard. Okay, and they'll try to give the deviants sainthood and cabinet positions. Tell me I'm wrong. So I kind of see why people aren't rushing out there to say fuck you and stand on the corner with them, because we're kind of in a situation where, and don't get me wrong, I'm not making excuses, I'm just trying to be real.
I'm sorry, but I don't have time to go out and protest every day. I have something called a life and a job.
Right.
And I can't just make that my full-time job, because I don't think the electric company and water company and gas company and all that would say, hey, can I give you some hopes and dreams and unicorn farts, and will you take that as payment? So, that's why I'm not out protesting every day or screaming every day.
Well, you got to also remember too, a lot of these people that are out there, don't think all of them are actually trans deviants or whatever. They're being paid to move from one location to the other. Just like Antifa is, just like BLM has been. They're much more organized than people give them credit for. And until the patriots start doing that same thing and being that organized and that well regulated, we're pissing in the wind.
Okay, any patriots that are watching, hit up our Facebook page. Get with me. When y'all are ready, I'll lead the revolution.
What she said.
I'm giving a thumbs up, but I'm not turning my camera on. Sorry. And y'all be like, please put the mask back on. And I'd be like, I don't have a mask on. And,
Well, I mean, I think there needs to be people standing up and calling these people out for what they are. I'm there with you, Palmetto. Don't get me wrong. I'm not making excuses. I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to be real about it.
I'm gonna be real too. Smack the shit out of them fuckers.
That's fine. That's fine. You do that, and make sure that you've got myself or Vanguard's number in your phone for that one phone call.
I got it.
Peace, Patriot Nation.
I mean, I think that, and I'm right there with you, Palmetto, but I haven't run across, like I said, with that one run-in with that person in Shreveport. Other than that, but my circle is real small, and I hang out with a lot of like-minded people, so I don't run into, a lot of trannies and shit like that, and we definitely don't see it where I live. So, it would be way different if I did.
But just thinking back, a few years ago, did y'all think it would be like this?
No.
And I know I'm a different breed. I'm not inclusive. I'm not diverse. I'm not accepting of things. I can't accept the fact that what you do behind your closed doors is your business. If you bring it out on the street, it's my business because you've made it my business. Mm-hmm. Okay. But it just, and I honestly, I like you're talking about, protesters and all these drag shows, they're being paid to move from here to here, and it's a big show, but it's just they get more and more empowered. I don't know if they, they think nothing's going to happen to me, because it never does. I mean, 19 people arrested for the Transurrection. I mean, what the? Come on.
I know.
Hang on a second.
I don't know if they're not if they're empowered, or if they just know that nothing's going to happen to them, so they can get away with whatever they want to.
Palmetto, hang on a second. I've got to interrupt you here for a second. So in those two insurrections that happened, one one Kentucky and the other Tennessee, right?
Tennessee. Yeah.
Okay. In those, only 19 people were arrested.
That was numbers from Vanguard. I did not look that up, but that was the number.
There was 19 in Kentucky. Let me get the Nashville one.
Only 19 people. How many people were there?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. And they basically stormed the Capitol, the State House.
Yeah. And of those 19 that were arrested in Kentucky, how many of them are still in jail right now?
Probably zero.
Yeah, it's probably none. It's probably catch and release.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was just a statement.
So in other words, they arrested 19 people just so they could say, "Oh, we arrested some people," and y'all go out and do this in another state and all that, encouraging it.
Well,
Like
the
there are-
summer of
same
love.
thing happened in the BLM riots.
Yeah, the summer of love basically is what they're
And
doing.
you have J6 protesters still sitting in jail 2 years later.
Yeah, and that was what I was fixing.
You don't
get
have
at.
to be you don't have to be a Democrat or Republican. If you love freedom, that's wrong. If you Oh my, I ain't gonna get started on that, y'all. I'm not.
Well, that's actually where I was going with this, is saying, the whole J6, there's people that haven't even had the first court appearance. They won't give them that, and they're
Yeah,
still sitting in jail right now. I
I'm
mean,
gonna have to
they're
Google.
totally taking all their constitutional rights away from them and saying, we'll give them back to you when we feel like it. Good luck.
You tell me what Democrat knows the Constitution. You can't apply it if you don't know it.
Well, that's kind of like when they ask, when did that wingnut they put on the Supreme Court, they asked her to identify what it was to be a woman.
You couldn't.
Yeah.
Was it her? Said, "Well, I can't answer that question." What the fuck you mean you can't answer that question?
I'm not a doctor, but
trying to redefine mother as birthing person.
What do they call a man then?
A man.
Sperm donor?
Well,
I mean, is that what we're supposed to refer to men as sperm donors?
I'm going to stick with male and female.
And I swear to baby Jesus, if I could just see one commercial with a nuclear family,
good luck.
That would be great.
Good luck. I'm there with you. That'd be great to get back to the foundation of this great nation. But
did y'all hear that? I can't remember which congressman it was. Introduced a bill that English is going to be this nation's formal, language.
They've been talking about that forever.
No. There's a congressman that wrote a bill and trying to get it pushed, signed, and all that.
Well, I know times change, and I know you have to change with the times. This, I'm not. This is not okay.
No, it is not.
And I don't understand why more people aren't outraged. I mean, do I think we need to all go back to living like Andy Griffith? No.
It'd be simpler.
But this is, and I know the past few days, we've talked about Japan and China and Russia and doing all this stuff. Do you blame them?
We've made a perfect storm, is what we've done.
Absolutely.
The one thing that worries me is,
I'm telling y'all, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Putin crosses the border, I'm 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, sir. There you go.
The one thing that worries me right now is, China is trying to replace the U.S. dollar as the world currency. And that should scare anyone, regardless what your political views are, because they're devaluing our money.
Yeah, but I know somebody posted it in Signal, but like, I don't. Do you blame them? We're weak as fuck right now.
We
We
created
we
our
are
own storm.
this great country has become a laughing stock,
Yeah, of the world.
and I
Mhm.
don't blame any of these countries that we've bullied and that we've done things to say, okay, bitch, it's yeah. I
Yeah.
cannot blame them. I can't.
Mhm. We brought this on ourselves, as
Absolutely.
unfortunate as it is.
And I mean,
I'm as patriot as they come, and we brought this on ourselves.
in the current
Mhm.
current president and administration that we have, they don't put the best man in there for the job. They go, okay, well, what is your background and what is your, we want activists in here instead of people that actually know the job, know what they're supposed to be doing. I mean, look at the supply chain. We didn't have these problems until the Biden administration. Look at this whole cabinet. None of them have a fucking clue. I mean, it's not just Biden in there.
No, he's just figurehead. He's just figurehead. Only thing he knows about is children's underwear and ice cream.
And he's got a whole bunch of it upstairs. He's not kidding. He said that, I came down here for some chocolate ice cream and, I got a whole bunch of it upstairs. And he's not kidding because he said that. He said, I'm
He
not
can
kidding.
fall off that bike. I don't give a shit.
He needs to go play in traffic.
Like, I could not be Secret Service for him.
Think of the things you would see if you were.
I wouldn't even be looking at his ass. I'd be like, oh my gosh.
See, there's some things that
Where's
uh,
Lee Oswald
I
when you need him?
don't want to think about there. And, you cannot see that.
Every time Hunter comes by to kiss the ring or have the ring kissed or get a loan or whatever the hell he's doing, you're going to want to trip him or accidentally discharge a weapon on him.
No, I'd be like, hey, Hunter, I got some Parmesan cheese here, the good kind.
Oh,
That's all right, T. When you're ready to lead the revolution, I'll be your Secret Service.
all right. Got a plan. If you'd asked me 3 years ago, or even asked me, in 2020, when we were all raising hell, did we see it being this bad? No. I mean, this administration has gone out of their way to destroy our way of life in our country and make it where there's nothing to salvage by the time an election gets here, because they will have either sold it out or destroyed the very backbone of this country.
I never thought it would take, or I thought it would have taken longer. I didn't ever think it was going to happen this fast and as much damage could be done.
Well, we're the last generation. Well, my generation, I'd say the generation behind me is the last generation. If they don't teach the generation behind them, this country's doomed.
Well, I'm trying to, but
I mean, because it's like Reagan always said, it only takes one generation, right?
Yep.
Shit, no, I did my part. Fuck around and find out with my two and see what happens.
And congrats to you. Kudos. I'm glad, because there's so many out there that You know, it's like, were you asleep at the fucking wheel? Were you a helicopter parent? You know,
Man, my daughter gets so much hate on social media and shit. I mean, she just tells it like it is. You got sensitive
Good for her.
Sally out there. People can't
Good.
handle the truth.
My son's not allowed on social media, so
Both of
that's
mine are good to go. And I have told them from when they started toddling around, no, no, you're a boy. The end. Case closed. I'm not marching in no gay pride parades with you, so don't even try to go that route. I'm very.
Well, I'm just
Yeah.
glad that you cured the worms that your son's truck had.
Oh shit!
What is Vanguard talking about?
Squad of trucks look like a dog with worms.
Well, he's in a Tahoe now. It's not jacked up, but he did take the Cadillac converter off of it. It's loud as fuck. He's getting on my damn nerves.
Hey, tell him that there's some what is it? What metal's in there? It's
Platinum.
yeah, platinum. Tell him there's platinum in it. Take it out, sell it.
Oh, he knows.
Why did he take the Cadillac converter off?
Dumb
Make
as
it loud.
fuck. Make it loud.
That's old
I said
school.
it's gonna blow up. That shit is gonna blow up. Whatever. You're
I've got
18. You do.
I've got a 14-year-old boy. If I was to say, hey, you want to go march in a gay pride parade, he'd probably slap me. So
I told both mine from jump. No, we don't do that. No, sir. No, sir.
My son not down with that. He he's read the Constitution more than once. He's read the Bill of Rights more than once. And that's one thing that I'm trying to make him memorize is the Constitution. Like, and I don't mean, be able to quote me Article 4. No, just know that what's what. Know that, for example, First Amendment's freedom of speech, expression, blah blah blah. Second Amendment, right to bear arms.
Look,
I
I'm gonna
want
tell
him
you
to know it.
before I get off, because I know Vanguard is ready to wrap it up, but I am not a participation trophy parent.
Nope.
Their last football game as seniors, they lost. I always take pictures. I wasn't taking any pictures, and they were like, Miss So and So, you're not gonna take our picture? I said, no, y'all fucking lost. I'm not taking the loser pictures. They was like crying because it was their last game and stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm not taking y'all's pictures.
My son got his he was playing first year pitching machine, and their team came in first in the league anyway, but they gave him that trophy, and then they gave him a participation trophy. I took the participation trophy away from him. I threw it in the trash. I said, son, you don't get a trophy for just showing
You
up.
didn't throw that boy's trophy in the trash.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Damn helicopter parent.
And
You were passing out Capri Suns.
And I mean, I told him, I said, you don't get a trophy for showing up. And then I held up his first place trophy and said, this is what you get a trophy for. Your team came in first place on the season. That's what you get a trophy for. You earned that. If they gave him like these little participation medal trophy thing, I threw that damn thing in the trash. I said, you don't get a participation trophy just because you showed up and played in the game. No, doesn't work that way.
I remember when I was in grade school and I was taking some form of martial arts, and we had a tournament, and they gave out, trophies to the people who ranked, and then those who didn't rank got like a necklace, medallion thing or whatever, like a medal. I remember I got one of those, and I was pissed. I didn't want a damn medal. I wanted a trophy, and it wasn't that. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't I wanted a trophy participation. I wanted to rank high enough to earn the trophy. if that makes sense. So that next year, when we had the next tournament, I ranked and got a trophy because I was better. That's the mindset that's no longer there. They push this whole mindset of, oh, here, you showed up. And it's like, no, that's not how it fucking works, you know? But this
They're
whole
not
participation thing's insane.
they're not teaching kids to, if you lose, how to deal with it and
Right.
what you have to do to get better so you don't lose again.
Exactly.
You know, they're not teaching any of those things. That's why I threw his participation trophy in the fucking trash. I said, you don't get a trophy just for showing up. And then his, like I said, his team came in first in the league and all that, and they got a trophy. I said, this is what you get a trophy for, son. Y'all worked hard. Y'all came in first in the league, and I'm proud of you. You don't get a trophy for just showing up. That one went, like I said, it got thrown in the trash. My ex-wife was pissed about that, but I didn't care. My ex-wife, Palmetto, would be what you call a helicopter parent. But yes.
Alrighty, it got real quiet. That must mean it's quitting time.
Oh, no, I was posting the dust off. He was asking what's in that that Spalding coating, and I put it on there, and just real quick, and then we'll go to sign off. But it's an anti-ballistic material, and good luck trying to cut through it or drill through it.
What are we talking about?
The anti-Spalding coating that's on plates.
Oh, okay. That keeps it from fragging and stuff.
Yeah, good luck to you, buddy.
Oh, man.
I think he's welding like a 1980s model fucking bomb suit out of plates or something. I don't know what he's doing.
He's trying to fabricate full body armor.
Tell him to be sure to do his feet.
Well, it looks like he's off to a wonderful start.
All right, let's see who we're going to lead with. Last in, first out. Palmetto, what you got for him?
If you get ready, you ain't got to stay ready.
Hey,
That's all I got. I mean, world's a shit show. Just a damn shit show. That's all I got.
all right, Moose, what you got, brother?
If you shake it more than twice, you're playing with it. If you shake it 3 times, I guess you're really playing with it. But keep your powder dry and stay frosty, seriously. I mean, in this day and age right now, they're talking about the trannies arming themselves and every damn thing else. You know, it's like they want us to kill each other instead of try to come together and unify. And, you know, I just pray this country is smart enough to figure it out and, you know, let's come together.
Sound like I got visitors. All right, T, what you got, bud?
T, hold on a second. I'm just gonna say I'm not coming together with any of those DVDs at all whatsoever. Write it down, take a picture. I'll still be saying the same thing next week.
Copy that. First and foremost, if you're not right with God, get right with God. This country and the people in this country need some prayers and need His help. If we're going to endure what's ahead, I encourage each and every one of you to pay attention globally, nationally, locally, because any stupid shit can pop off. And as you've heard me say many, many times, if you're not armed, get armed, learn how to use it, and be proficient with it, because there may come a day and time where it's only you standing between you and your family and the bad guy. That's all I got.
Absolutely. First off, Palmetto, you are going to be the first person ever listed as a Sigma female. Congratulations. Okay. I know I brought up the Sigma male. Y'all need to check that out. It's kind of new. I'm going to try to get something nailed down on that. That's kind of badass. But anyway, yeah, we got a lot of crazy stuff going on. We'll continue to talk about it. Do what you can locally. That's the biggest thing. Get in there locally. Get in with your sheriffs, your mayor of your town, the Board of Education. Very, very important. Get in with the Board of Education because that's the ones that are leading the fight with our children, right? That's the ones that implement things that will ultimately control the output of what our children see and believe in. All right. So y'all get in there. Don't be shy about it. I mean, I know some of us, our children's already grown and everything, but you know, we still gotta lay down the groundwork for those that's coming behind us, as in our grandchildren, right? I don't have any of those yet, but I might one day. Right. But anyway, thank y'all for coming by. Everybody out there in the chat, appreciate y'all coming by as always. Make sure y'all hit that like and share. Send it to your grandma, your cousins, your aunts, everybody.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Absolutely.
No.
Vanguard. It's kind of like what T said earlier, to kind of drive home what you're saying. You know, T is the past, I'm the present, and my son is the future.
Yep.
So, and that's the way we need to look at it in this country. You know, the older people, they're the past. The younger, middle-aged people are the present, and then our kids are the future. And everything really starts locally and then moves up the chain, not the other way around.
100%.
So
absolutely. So everybody get out there, do your part. Like Moose said, you know, and I mean, we got to help, you know, as he said, T's the past, you know, and not really the past, T. I mean, you're here. So, but
you're not the past, T.
It's up to us to help and guide. We have to get in there and help and guide this new generation. I mean, I don't know if y'all watch it, but I watch this YouTube channel called Gen X Talks. Watch it. Everything he says on there is exactly in line of our mentality. So just check it out. It's funny. It'll give you a little laugh. It's a lot of short videos, but anyway.
So is Revelations. Open that up and read it, people.
Yeah, read that.
Yeah, that's.
Suggestion: if you've never read the Bible, do not start with Revelations.
Honestly, I think that book should be first, but that's just my opinion.
Well,
absolutely
yeah,
not. Absolutely not, Moose.
But then they won't understand the meaning. But anyway, y'all be safe. Be the steed, not the seed. Okay. I got to shut this shit down. We're going to work together. Continue to do these lives. I plan to see y'all Thursday. Thank y'all for coming on here. It does get rather exciting when you get on here. Y'all always welcome. Everybody's welcome. Anybody that is on this channel can come on here live. Even those that are out there in the shadows watching and critiquing us. If you want to come on live and debate, we can have a friendly debate. I don't lack intelligence of being open-minded to listen to somebody's conversation. I mean, I'm probably going to shoot your shit down, but I mean, it's worth it. Get on here. We'll talk about it.
Yep.
Anyway, y'all be safe. God bless America. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all Thursday.
Palmetto, can I come back on Thursday?
It's a free country for now.
So that means, yes, I can come back on Thursday. All right, I'll try to be back on Thursday if y'all will have me.
Hell yeah.
More the merrier.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Night.